everybody, welcome to The Garage, the Court of Public Opinion. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. Peter Clayton's behind the camera. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. We're here at 9 o'clock with a posting on Tuesday morning and today, Thursday morning. Thank you for joining us. And of course, tomorrow around the dining room table, the Court of Public Opinion, live streaming 9 to 12. Hope you might join us. Much controversy over our recognition of Palestine. Statehood for Palestine. Is there a state of Palestine to be recognized? I don't know. It's a funny part of the world over there. But it's a lefty thing. Really? France, Canada, England, now Albo, all the lefties. Do we need another theocracy in the Middle East? Human rights, equal opportunity, particularly towards women, all of that, non-existent in that neck of the woods. Israel is the only liberal, multicultural democracy in the Middle East. Once the darling of the left, no more. Jews are being demonized once again. How dare you be brilliant, creative, hard-working achievers, scholars, and inventors, and Nobel Prize winners. How dare you have the audacity? People are funny, aren't they? Plan International. Have you seen the ads? Plan International, the ads on television, I mean. They popped up, I think I first started seeing them probably on the weekend, last weekend. Please give $10 a month so that these children will not be married off and find themselves being mothers at 9 years old. It says, the ad, every 3 seconds, an underage girl is sold off into marriage. The ads, the marketing, all of this. Glossy? Don't know who's paying for it, but it's about money. It's about money. I don't believe for 1 second that this is going to save the little girl or the little girls, because there are many. Nothing, these ads aren't going to save them from Islam. Why don't you go to the cause of the problem, Plan International? Have you read the Koran? This was pointed out to me, and you can look it up. Muhammad said, and I quote, you can marry a girl as young as 12 months old, but you are not allowed to have her physically until she is able. Wonder who's going to be the judge of that. Now, I don't know what you would call that. Some people would call that child abuse. But while there are over 1 billion people who believe in and follow the Koran, what is the point of Australians giving $10 a month to try and save children from this culture? You are, in fact, in a way, supporting this culture. I think you either just have to accept the fact that these are the teachings of Muhammad which people follow, or you can contest the teachings of that religion, and if you do, you risk your life. Think Salman Rushdie. You remember satanic verses? I don't know, it must be 30, maybe 40 years ago. He still lives, Salman Rushdie still lives with bodyguards. They tried to kill him several times, lost an eye. These guys do not mess around. A South Australian police officer has applauded the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The police officer had his say, I believe, online. I think that's a terrible thing for a police officer to contribute to this situation. Why would he or she do that? I find it abhorrent. Since all this climate stuff started with Julia Gillard way back, well, not so far way back, but way back, Julia Gillard, who gave us the carbon tax, you remember, there'll be no carbon tax under a government I lead. Well, we had a carbon tax. Julia also gave us the NDIS, which, like Labor's climate policy, has the potential to send the country broke. And since this carbon rubbish started, our standard of living has fallen, our cost of living has risen, our competitiveness has been lost. To me, the simple thing is we can't afford Labor. Their policies in just one area, climate change, will wreck this great nation and turn us really into a third world country. This is, of course, after Labor and its Lima Declaration. Look it up. Look up the Lima Declaration. Pick up your phone, go to Google and say, what can you tell me about the Lima Declaration? Look at it. It'll open your eyes. When Labor had its Lima Declaration, signed off on it, it turned Asia into a superpower at our expense, jobs and all. Socialism is about the global redistribution of wealth. Your wealth, ladies and gentlemen. And if you fall for it, you will get more of it. Lies, not wealth. I got this on X, the old tweet thing. Rob Smith sent it out. Chris Bowen said Australia can change the Earth's temperature and keep any increase to below 1.5 degrees centigrade. What the hell does that mean? Rob says it's 15 degrees warmer than it was at 6 a.m. this morning. Chris Bowen has spent millions of our dollars on this climate report. He says tens of thousands of people are going to die. Climate-induced heat waves. The silent majority must not remain silent, or it will not remain the majority. It is time to get vocal. I don't know how I can stir you into action, he says, but this character, Chris Bowen, he's dangerous. Straight-faced, he says. We will export our coal and gas to India and China, provide them with cheap electricity. We export our uranium to provide cheap energy to others. This government has a responsibility to us, no one else but us. No one is marching or demonstrating. So I guess they look like they're getting away with it. Why are we cutting our emissions while supplying the biggest emitters in the world? It is unbelievable. I said it to you before, and I'll say it to you again, just to spotlight the government's hypocrisy. We take without question the target for emission reduction from overseas. Oh, Paris. 10 years ago, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, whoever the hell they are. In other words, a target set by other people with other priorities and interests. Yet when it comes to defence, ladies and gentlemen, oh no, we will not take a target as to how much of our GDP we should be spending on defence. We will do what is best for us. We'll do what is in our best interests. Well, I think that's perfectly right. Same should apply to climate. These people can't lie straight in bed. Do they imagine that no one is going to notice this strange double standard? Am I the only person to point it out? Here is the amount by which you will reduce your emissions, and we say, yes, sir. When it comes to defence, it's a different story. There is something very rotten in Denmark. Make that Canberra. Another $40 million of taxpayers' money is to be given to buyers of electric cars to provide for more charging stations. Another waste of money. Take away the subsidies, the grants, the rebates, the handouts, the renewables industry. Ideology is in a shambles. A rort, a lie, a con. This is disgraceful. By the way, be careful before you buy a Chinese-made EV. Electric vehicles seem to have been set up, made in China, to monitor everything you do, everything you say, everywhere you go. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this is scientifically proven. They can be remotely disabled, even explode. I've heard all sorts of stories about Chinese appliances in the home, too. Appliances, you know, your toaster. I don't know what they're talking about, but they could also be monitors feeding back information back to China. Why they'd be interested, I've got no idea. Do you remember when Malcolm Turnbull was the Prime Minister and he refused to allow the Chinese company, I think it was called Huawei? Was it Huawei? Or something very close to that. He didn't want them to get the job to build our 5G communications network. You must remember, he considered it too dangerous, too risky. Just something to consider if you're about to buy a Chinese EV. No one has denied any of this, by the way. Did this crowd in Canberra ever hear of the first rule of government, I wonder? First rule of government? Do no harm. And by the way, Transport for New South Wales has banned electric scooters and bikes from all their services. You can't take an electric scooter or bike onto a train or a bus or anything like that. Now, if you doubt the climate change fraud, just Google, how big is the climate change industry? We are talking billions. Vested interest and thousands of people, all with a personal involvement in the con. Gee, what a money spinner. What a money spinner. We're here with the best wishes of the Rising Sun Inn, ladies and gentlemen, at 60 Bridge Street at Kensington. It's a lovely place. Great watering hole. 83330721 if you'd like to come in, have a drink at the bar. Lovely old atmospheric bar. Open fires, and yes, it is still cold enough here in Adelaide to have an open fire. Grant and Jackie will look after you, but it may be a product launch or a quiet, a romantic dinner for two, lunch, product launch, anything at all. Functions, have a talk to them. The Rising Sun Inn, regularly chosen as the best pub or inn in South Australia. And Jim Elder Fine Art Gallery in Melbourne Street, North Adelaide. 4 big auctions a year. You can talk to Helen or Jim on 8. Then get the number down. You can look it up, of course, or you can Google it. 8267-2869. They are inviting people to submit notable paintings for their next auction, which will be coming up in about 2 months' time. Jim will be very happy to give you an absolutely free appraisal. And then you can make up your mind whether you want to keep it or you want to sell it. I think a painting that he had in the last auction sold for over $150,000. It was in the books. It was an Albert Namatjira. It was in the catalogue, an estimated price of about $60,000. went way, and it went overseas too, went way over that to an overseas buyer. Now, jeremycordeaux.com tomorrow. I hope you'll join us. Professor Plimer will be there. We'll have lots of interesting guests. No, I won't go through them. I've got to sit down this afternoon and lock them all in. But if you'd like to join us, it's just a question of going to Safari and saying jeremycordeaux.com. It'll come up. Or if you want to have me in the palm of your hand, you go to Simple Radio, the app on your telephone, and there I will be if you look for the Court of Public Opinion. It's simple, it's easy, it's manageable, and it's good. Always available. September the 25th, ladies and gentlemen. Happy birthday if you're having a birthday. Couple of anniversaries. 1897. The first British bus service opens. Woo! 1897. Have you ever watched that thing called Salvage Hunters on television? On channel, what is it, 97? Salvage Hunters. They did a thing the other day on the, it was a bus museum in London, and they had all these wonderful, wonderful old Leyland buses, and I didn't know Daimler made buses, but apparently they did. It's very interesting. You should check it out. Mark Hamill, American actor, Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, born 1951. British physician Dr. Charles Drysdale warns against the use of tobacco in a letter to the Times newspaper in one of the earliest public health announcements on the dangers of smoking. 1878 on this day. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, lungs are there for fresh air. Who would think it a good idea to put smoke in there? No. Doesn't seem like a good idea to me. Although I did smoke a pipe. Pipe is a very comforting thing in many ways. But it's more of a prop than a habit. Michael Douglas, American actor. Wall Street, Jewel of the Nile. Born New Brunswick, New Jersey in 1944. Never talked to him, but I spoke to his father, Kirk Douglas, many, many times. Don Adams, American comedian, Emmy Award-winning actor. Get Smart, Tennessee Tuxedo. The Bill Donner Show, Inspector Gadget. He dies from complications of lymphoma. He was 82. This day in 2005. Singapore announces that it'll be the first country in the world to use facial verification as part of its national identity scheme. And Malcolm Campbell sets the world auto speed record of 146.16 miles per hour. This day in 1924. I wonder what the world land speed record is these days. Don't know. I look forward to your company in the morning. Don't forget to tune us in. 9 o'clock, jeremycordeaux.com, live streaming around the dining room table. We will have, I promise you, a lot of fun. A lot of talk, a lot of conversation, phone calls, a bit of music, and most importantly, you. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. This has been the Court of Public Opinion. Thank you for joining us on Facebook here in the garage. Hope to see you tomorrow. Bye for now.